Hello, I'm going to go with that I'm live right now. I'm not actually checking on my phone today, so I'm hoping very much that we are working. I can't see anybody in the chat right now, so I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes for some people to join and we'll get going. So first of all, thank you for joining. This is the last part in a 3-part series that I've just put together for you. The first part was all about researching and finding great video ideas for your YouTube channel. The second was how to do some basic editing, and today's session is how about, thank you Catherine, and today's session is all about where the business sits with, or YouTube sits within your business. So there's 2 angles to come from really with this, and we'll go over them in just a few minutes. Gonna make sure nobody else is gonna join. Right, so let's get started. So first of all, if we're meeting for the very first time, then my name is Joe Cullen and I'm a former IT manager. I'm now a full-time content creator running my own business, helping you start your YouTube channel, rank your videos, and grow your audience. So what are we going to cover today exactly? Well, there's 2 different angles to come from. You could be sitting there right now thinking about starting a YouTube channel and just interested in what that entails and all the things that go along with that. Hopefully these sessions will have kind of given you some information on if that's for you or not. The next stage is that you could be a business already and you could be interested in starting on YouTube for your business. So there's 2 kind of key angles to come from. You could be looking for YouTube full time without any kind of prior business experience, etc. Or you could be in a business and looking to harness the platform. We're going to go over both of those today, so it's kind of split into two angles, and then at the end we'll also go over how you may be able to benefit even further faster without having to go through lots of your own research and stuff like that. So why would you want to do this? Well, first of all, to make money on YouTube you need a plan. If you don't have a plan, then you kind of plan to fail, and that's what so many people do on YouTube right now. If they don't have a plan, then really it's probably not going to go anywhere. You do get the odd person that strikes it lucky, gets a trending video and goes really high in the ranks for 15 minutes, and they get 15 minutes of fame and then they're back down to 0 almost, and it doesn't last for very long. The kind of strategies and tactics that I teach and show you and will be going through in this session are all about how to make it sustainable, so you're going to grow organically and well into the future. You know, this is not it's not a short-term thing, it's a long-term gain. To be successful on YouTube, you need to know the foundational stuff so you can grow quickly. And by this I mean there's kind of 7 key points to the foundation of YouTube, and if you don't know them, or if you skip over one of them, or if you don't complete one of them quite properly, then it's very likely that you're going to struggle to grow, and your audience is going to know something's off, but they're not going to quite know what. So that's kind of the place where most people come from, and the reason that they get stuck, and we'll go over that in just a few minutes. So without understanding these core concepts, you'll also have a chance of getting a little bit overwhelmed and feeling like there's just too much and there's no organization to it all. It feels very chaotic. Well, I've spent quite a lot of time now sorting out all of that chaos and organizing it into very nice, easy to consume processes, which again is the 7 steps that we're going to go through in just a few minutes. So they're the reasons why that you'd want to consider watching this right now, and how we might be able to help you into the future. So just before we start, I want to inform you that this is the third and final live stream. It's the first set of live streams I've ever done, so they're not the most slick, but hopefully you will appreciate that that it's value giving, and there's quite a lot of good stuff in these sessions that you're able to take away for your own business or for your own personal use. If you're interested in seeing the other sessions, then they're on my YouTube channel, and they're available to watch right now. Please stay until the end and then go and watch them. But they're available for you right now. So I'm going to jump into, I've got some slides to share with you today. I'm going to jump into the session right now. This is the how we're going to actually, inform and get to know exactly what we need to do, and where your business may sit within YouTube. So let me just flick over to them now. Okay, hopefully you can see that. So the 7 key things you need to know and do to have a successful YouTube channel. There we go. The first one is know your niche. Now, I'm sure that you've heard this phrase before. I'm sure that you've seen a million different trainings on it, and I'm sure that you probably think that you have your niche nailed already. Well, in YouTube especially, the more niche you are, and there are exceptions to this, but generally speaking, the more niche you are, the better your audience and your channel is going to grow. And that can be quite hard for some people to niche down to the level that I'm talking about right now. I'm not going to go into too much of the details. We've got 7 things to go over and then another slide as well. So I'm going to breeze over that slightly, but really there are some really fundamental things in know your niche. And if you're too broad, then you're trying to reach everybody. You end up actually helping nobody, because if somebody joins you for one topic and you're talking about 2 or 3 different topics, then they're just as likely to leave you because you're talking about those other 2 topics for 66% of the time, and actually they only want that one thing from you. So the best thing to do is to really niche down, to really go deep in your niche rather than broad with lots of topics. I'll let you decide if you think that's the best approach or not, but that's what I found from my own experiences, and from working on multiple other people's channels over the last 4 years. So hopefully you agree with that, and if you do, then we can obviously look to improve that and to really nail it down so you know exactly what your topic is. The second thing is create your channel. So you obviously need a channel to be successful on YouTube. If you don't have a channel, then it's never going to work. There's quite a few things behind the scenes that you need to get done, including creating banners and some icons, getting a little bit of copy in there for your About Us, things like that. It's a lot of people just skip over it. They don't do it to the level that I would advise you do. It's worth spending a few days on creating your channel and not just a half-hour session. The benefit over long term for creating your channel in the right way is actually quite substantial. If people are coming to your channel and that's the first thing that they see, it's your first visual, and they're put off by it because you don't have a banner or something like that, they're just going to click off and you've just lost that potential subscriber, and that's going to hurt your viewings and your rankings overall. So the create your channel is actually quite important. Not enough people put enough emphasis on it, but again, it's not a major part of these things. It's just something that we need to make sure are done properly. Then we look at facing fears. So if you have confidence on camera, then that's absolutely fine. You might not need to consider this too much at all. But once you get started, and I found this myself, I found that when I was starting off, I was fine. Nobody was watching and I was just talking to myself, and I kind of got used to it. I got better, obviously, but over time it gets easier. But then you start getting an audience and people start watching your stuff, and you start getting these feelings inside that are like, oh, people are watching now and I'm not quite sure if I should be saying this, doing this, whatever. And those feelings crop up, maybe not at the start. For some people they probably do. For me, they cropped up slightly later as I started to get an audience. So Facing your fears can come in at any time. Another thing that I've just had to get over is live streaming. I've never done a live stream before this week, and if you ask my partner, then she will tell you that I was freaking out for like the 2 weeks beforehand because I'd never done it before, and trying to speak on camera consistently without anybody responding to you is, you know, it's something new and something hard to get used to if you haven't done it before. So all these things, they always crop up, they always come across, and they're just part of having a successful YouTube channel. You can't get away from it, you have to go through it, and that's one of the things that you should really block out some time to work out how you're going to do that. The next thing you really need to do is plan and block your time out so you can be successful. One of the things that I find is that if I don't put it into my diary and I don't block it out and I don't plan for it, it just doesn't happen. So you need to actually be blocking out your time effectively and knowing exactly what you need to do as well. Obviously, breaking those things down when you're first starting can be a bit harder. You kind of maybe jumping in at the deep end, not exactly sure what's available and what you need to do, but slowly over time you will work out how much time it's taking you and exactly where you should be blocking it out and in which order. So there's lots of different things there, and there's obviously lots of people that will give you information on how to break all of those things down and how they do it themselves. I actually break down my own plan for you as well, not in this session, but in my training package. So if you, and then so creating your physical content. So recording is one thing, editing is another, uploading and engaging in socials again is kind of another. It's a 5-step process within create your content, and really if you don't do it in the right way, then you're going to struggle to reach the audience that you wanted. It starts with researching, and then you go off into the planning and the recording, and go through a very simple process when you know it, but if you don't know it, it's chaos. So again, another key point on which to consider and what you're going to need if you're going to grow on YouTube. When you actually have some data on YouTube, so when you've released some videos and you've started to get a few people watch those videos, it's then really worth looking at your analytics and knowing exactly how they're performing in comparison to maybe your competitors or other channels that are similar to you. There's a lot of analytical stuff that you can go into. Again, I'm just breezing over it here just as a kind of a general overview, but really that's one thing that you will need to spend time on doing if you're going to be successful and really leverage all of the opportunities that are on YouTube to the maximum. And then finally, the 7th step is to amend your plan. If you review your analytics and you realize there's some changes that you need to make or some things that you could try that might add engagement or something like that, then you need to implement them as well. So you kind of go back to the plan for success stage and you kind of repeat that again and again. Step 4 to 7 is kind of the repeated phase that you'd go through again and again to have a successful YouTube channel. Hopefully that will make sense. Now that is what you kind of physically need to do in order to be creating content and releasing videos and on a regular basis have an audience coming to you. Now, understanding exactly where YouTube sits is something that most of the clients that I've had in the past have queried. So I'm going to go over that now. And if you've already got a business, then YouTube is not going to get you customers, for example. And you're probably thinking, well, why am I doing it then? There's 3 steps in creating a customer, generally speaking. You've got your traffic, then you've got your leads, and then you've got your customers. Let me just go on to the next slide. So traffic, leads, and customers. That is the order in which you should be thinking about obtaining online leads. The traffic is where YouTube actually sits. So YouTube is similar to a social media or your website, and that basically means that you'll get an audience from creating your videos in a really good manner, and you can have millions of subscribers and loads of, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about gaining those people and new people searching for you and finding you slowly over time. All of that sits within the traffic. After you've got your traffic, you can then try and convert that traffic into leads, which could be done via a freebie, an email list, etc. You've got lots of different opportunities that come up when you've got traffic coming to your social medias or YouTube site. Your leads can then be generated into customers, but really what I found is people want customers, they don't necessarily want traffic. But the thing is, you have to start at the beginning, generate your traffic, convert them into leads, and then the few that want to will become your hardcore customers. And that's really what the whole idea, if you're using YouTube as a business, that's where you really want to be looking. So just putting it into perspective for you, if you've got that full business and you're looking about doing YouTube, then YouTube is the starting point for you to generate more traffic, customers, and really what you're looking to do with YouTube is grow your own audience and your own tribe on the platform, so then you can convert them at specific times into leads and customers. Hope that all makes sense. Now, it's taken me a very long time to work all of this out. If you've done a marketing course before, you might be like, but that's really obvious. And yes, it is really obvious. But nobody tells you this stuff unless you really sign up to the really big, expensive courses. So I haven't done that. I've worked it all out myself, and this is where we've got to now. Oh yeah, that goes in order. So the last 4 years for me has been a roller coaster, going up and down with all of the different working out all of the different things for YouTube. And now I've put together a package called Ultimate YouTuber, which is a 12-week training program for you to become a YouTube master. I'm going to go over that now in brief detail, just so you understand what it's about. But really, that is condensing 4 years of my experiments and knowledge down into a 3-month program for you. So hopefully that is of interest. Is it for you? Well, if you're one of these, hopefully it will be. If you're a content creator branching into video creation, YouTubers that want to know the best way to start and grow on YouTube, if you're a business owner looking to grow their audience to generate more leads, or if you're a side hustler that wants to start a YouTube channel, then this will be for you. And here's what you'll learn throughout the course: the most effective and streamlined video creation processes, how to run a YouTube channel yourself or how to outsource it if you prefer, the things you should avoid doing as a new or small YouTuber, and how to keep motivated and consistently upload videos every week. And that last one is quite a biggie, actually. You want to really ensure that you do keep motivated throughout this whole process, and consistency is one of the key metrics that you need for YouTube to have that compound growth over time. So just to clarify, this training will not show you how to get rich quickly. It won't encourage you to take any shortcuts that may harm your brand in the long run. It won't physically work if you don't do the work, and I can't guarantee your success. That's entirely up to you. What you get, 12 weeks of YouTube training, which includes the best practice and strategy accumulated from a lot of different resources, and I've put them all together for you in one nice little package. A personal YouTube plan for you or your business, a one-to-one meeting with me so we can go over all of the nuances that you may have and any questions that you've got. And then there's a weekly group Q&A session that you're welcome to join and ask your questions. And we'll get all of your questions answered throughout the course. Also, right now, this is the first ever time that I've launched this program. So I'm looking at the founding members today and offering you a founding members position. and that's going to come with lifetime access to a subscription service which is currently not available but will be available later in this year. So if that interests you, then it's really good time to get on board now, instead of having a monthly cost that you'd have to then, if you want to be part of it. The results you'll get are the YouTube channel created and set up, 12 YouTube optimized videos for your channel, a full understanding of how to make engaging videos and grow on YouTube. You'll see physical growth on your channel, and you'll have all of your questions answered. We also have the proven processes to grow your channel well into the future. So even though this is only a 12-week program, these processes that we give you now, you'll have lifetime access to, and you'll be able to keep on using those same processes again and again, well past 3 months, to see compound growth and to really make it successfully on YouTube. How I deliver this training, it's in weekly training videos, so I release them every Sunday. You get weekly group sessions. The days and times will vary to try and accommodate everyone's different circumstances, and weekly progress tasks, which is action for you to take every single week. There's also a community Facebook group, so you can get support 24/7 from your colleagues that are also in the group training. So if that's interesting, then I'm going to dive down into a little bit more of the detail now, just so you know exactly what you can expect on a week-by-week basis. On week 1, we get set up and optimize your channel if you already have one, or create it if you don't. In week 2, we go over your niche. We make sure that you've got full clarity on what that is, and we've touched on them today, but the business and YouTube fundamentals, they are really in detail inside the course. In week 3, we look at the fears and how to record. So if you don't know how to use your equipment, then we look at all of that kind of stuff in week 3. Week 4, we look at planning for success and basic editing. So yes, we do look at video editing as well as recording and as well as all of the other bits. You'll learn how to do all of this yourself, and then you can choose if you want to just outsource it because it's too time consuming, etc. In week 5, we look at the most fundamental part of the course, which is the video creator framework. This is the framework that I've put together to help everybody cut through all of the noise that's on YouTube and in these different training packages that people say are available to you. So this is the one that I use on a weekly basis. It's the one that my clients use, and it's the one that is working very well. And this is the thing that will be basically made available to you for life with lifetime updates as we go through. Week 5 is like the overview of that, and then the subsequent weeks is going down into the details. So week 6, we look at the research and the tools that you need to do that. Week 7, the preparation and scripting and what will work for you in terms of making the best quality content. Week 8, the recording best practices to make sure that you are engaging your viewers in the very best ways. Week 9, editing in detail or outsourcing options. So we go into the more time-consuming elements of editing at this stage, and this is where a lot of businesses especially would say, oh, I'll choose to outsource this part of the work. Week 10, we look at releasing your video and the engagement that you're going to be getting from your other social media and other outlets. And then we look at your analytics and how to refine the process in week 11, and then finish on week 12 with a celebration and our next steps and how to keep on growing. So if that all sounds interesting, then Ultimate YouTuber is currently looking for 25 founding members, and this is the cheapest it's ever going to be, purely because I'm looking for the founding members to help me get started and set up in the process. So it's £497, and you get lifetime access and lifetime updates. The doors will be closing on the 4th of April, and that's because I want to basically close the doors at a certain time and then focus on the people that have joined and help them promote their channel and get them into the place they want to be, growing and setting up correctly. There's only 25 spots available. A couple of them have been taken already. So yeah, if you are interested, then there's a link in the description below exactly how to get to the course. And if that interests you, then it would be fantastic to see you on the inside of the course. I'm really looking forward to helping each and every one of you start and grow on YouTube. So I hope that's been interesting. I hope that's been helpful. I think this session's been a little bit shorter than the previous ones, but hopefully just as much value has been given. If you've got any questions and you're still not sure, then please do give me a contact. It's joe@ubitronics.co.uk, or for more information, ubitronics.co.uk is my website. Thank you very much. I don't think there's any comments at the moment that I can see. I'll hang around for another couple of minutes just to see if there's any other questions, but let me put myself back on big screen. Otherwise, that's me kind of done for today. I'll hang around just for a few more minutes for any questions. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and remember to check out the website link, and I'll see you inside the members area.